me something about a project either you did or you're working on. I'm very curious,
Mm-hmm.
but can be also something very small. Like I want to know something that you had like fun with, like maybe a tiny thing. I did this project, and this thing was super fun. Just do this tiny thing.
Yeah.
Like it's more like a detail, like that you liked a lot in a project that you did, or that you're working on right now.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm also interested in the project as a
I mean,
whole.
I can talk about the album I released the other day.
Yes.
So I released an album called War Loops.
Yes.
Which is it's basically like a piano piece for piano, you know?
Yes.
Unlike a piano piece for a violin.
This is an interesting project.
Yeah, so it's like 10 short loops for piano. And I think that the writing process was really fun because it was not sitting in front of like a blank page and writing music. It was sitting in front of the piano and playing music for hours until I got like the core ideas crystallized. So there was like a lot of so like during the writing process, you might have a lot of things that don't go into the piece, but you still write them.
Yeah.
So here I had a lot of things not going into the piece, but I still played them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because each of these loops had like a lot of variations until I found like the actual.
They're very condensed.
Yeah, exactly. And until I found like so this was really fun. Like just playing and playing until I got the thing I wanted, and then once I have it, it's like. That's it.
Yes.
It's really nice. And then, and I don't even need like anything in addition, right? I can already like press the record button, record this, just shortly notate it, and I have the piece.
I see.
So this was really fun to work on, and I'm really getting into this. Like I really like the theoretical aspect of composition, of just like, coming up with like these crazy ideas with the algorithms and like writing them down, experimenting with them, also working on like a long form piece of music that like takes you through a narrative journey. Like this is all very fun, but like I'm really getting into this type of more spontaneous kind of music making, of like recording songs or like these short piano loops. Now I started working on like some other piano loops. I call them sequences. So I'm doing these sequences, and it's the classic sequencer, right? It's like going up in fourths.
I see. Nice.
So this is like really fun, just like doing this kind of stuff.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And then you're really like just at the piano and you're just playing, repeating the loops, and or like changing it a bit, or
and
like
the amazing thing about like, have you ever tried to play a loop on the piano?
It's very hard.
Like, because the piano is such an unwieldy instrument, right? It's not like, unless you're an extremely professional pianist who like really knows exactly how to get the sound out of the instrument. It's almost impossible to play the same thing twice on the piano.
Very hard.
So if you listen to the recordings, so what I did for the album, I recorded each of the 10 loops for 6 minutes. So you hear these records. So total, you have like 1 hour of music. But when you listen to these loops, you hear that like none of them is the same as the previous one. Like you hear the music for like a couple of seconds. Like it depends on the loop. Some of them are shorter than others, but like you hear the loop and then you hear it again, and it's like it's not exactly the same thing, and it's like again and again. It's like really interesting once like this is the only musical aspect you have in a piece. You actually like the music comes from the small differences between the performances or the instances of the loop.
Nice. Cool. I have a super short story to this. Do you know the Vexation by Satie, the piece?
No.
That is a loop piece. It's like, it's longer. It's much longer.
It's this one. I think I know, like, it's just like
repeats,
4 chords,
it's very famous.
right?
It's a bit more, it's like two lines. So there's more than 4 chords, but it's like it's like 2 lines of piano music.
Yeah, and you need to repeat it like 300 times or something like that.
800 something.
800. Yeah, it's something insane. Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
very slow. Yeah, it's much longer than new loops actually. It's a loop.
Uh-huh.
I did this in high school with a lot of other people. We had this
Like
the
a full performance.
wildest project maybe I did in my life was in high school.
Interesting.
We had a music teacher who was very into John Cage, and even had an interesting. I think John Cage was once in our school when he visited Munich or something. There's like very history of the history, but I think he was visiting the theater, not even the music. We had not like a big music department or anything like this. We had a quite nice theater department, but somehow our music teacher was very inspired by John Cage and this kind of more conceptual early modernist thing. And for some reason, he thought it's a good idea to do this vexation with like our class, which we had like in the whole year, like maybe 6 people who played piano or something like that. And we performed it. We had like this open day of school, and it was the first performance in the beginning. And so I had to play this stupid loop in front of like a lot of people. First of all, and then we had to switch because we were multiple pianists because it takes forever. It's
it's impossible for a single person to do it.
I don't think we did a full performance because we did not. I think a full performance is like almost the whole like 24 hours. I think we did like a 12 or something, which is already crazy. And remember us switching during the loop, like literally me playing still like the right hand and the next person playing the right. Like,
nice.
really like that's just something that came to my mind, like the only loop piece thing I ever performed. But so it's incredibly hard to play the same thing and tiring mentally.
And the interesting thing about loops is like, when do you stop? Like, it's really easy to start. When do you stop?
Because you go on and on and on. Then you don't want to stop, and then you get crazy. Nice.
It's like I thought if I ever do this live, like when is the moment that I stop? Like probably when I play the wrong notes. Because eventually you make mistakes.
Yeah, of course. I see. Yeah, this reminds me of I just was in a concert, also with a very old concert, with this piano, like a very old piece from the 70s with the piano playing on itself, like one of the earliest AI kind of play piano things. And then it was so funny because the piano has no stopping mechanism also in the program. So it's like from the 70s, and they didn't program when does it stop improvising. It was like a piano that improvises. And then like and then it was so funny because then they had to go on stage and just decide to press the button and like, no, we stop. Like the humans had to intervene in the performance. It was so funny. It was a very funny one. I was not sure. I was wondering after the concert, is there a technical reason that it's difficult in the program to make it stop actually? Because it just generates and generates, and maybe it's actually a programming question that was difficult in a time or is difficult from the concept, or was it just them not being interested in like it just goes on. It was very interesting. It was very funny performance I saw.
Cool. Nice. So to
loops.
To loops.